Hey, how we doing out there, everybody? Coming at you for our week 5 video. Every other week rotation, as we know by now, with these videos. So, as of you all seeing this, your descriptive essays are now in the bin, so to speak. You submitted them, so 2 week turnaround on that. This week, I will be concentrating on your other homework assignments, the descriptive essays, not essays, but exercises in the SCC textbook and the two reader exercises, the journal, all that stuff. And then next week, I'll be grading your descriptive essays. Speaking of grading, so it's really critical that we turn work in the appropriate place and on time. And that's not just me giving some arbitrary, edict from on high. It's because, I'm in charge of, there's about 80, 90 of you all, and then I have 64 kids at the middle school. So if we're not all doing our part, submitting things on time and in the right place, absolute chaos ensues. Okay. So you're submitting things late and email, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. Okay. So I'm just going to say right now, unless you have an exceptional circumstance and you've let me know beforehand, okay, this is in the syllabus, by the way, no late work is accepted. Okay. So from now on, no late work is accepted. Unless there's some like formatting issue where I couldn't open your document or something like that. So very few exceptions allowed, but if you say, hey, I tried to submit my essay, a half hour before the deadline and I couldn't do it. Well, sorry, but don't wait a half hour before the deadline. And I'm not saying you're waiting, just, twiddling your thumbs, waiting around. I get it. We got busy lives, but, try to prioritize these things. Get a jump on them in the beginning of the week. I don't have any free time. I'm all I am doing is grading. That's my life, grading and teaching. Okay, it's Sunday. It's football Sunday. I'm gonna take a break and watch some football. Okay, but I certainly don't have the luxury to wait around and just procrastinate because it all falls apart if I do that. So just try to prioritize your due dates. Make sure you're looking at the announcement. And if I've made a mistake, email me and let me know, and I'll fix it. Okay. Sometimes when I'm resetting dates from the previous term, I could, miss mislabel a date, miss set a date. The year might not be right sometimes. Okay. That'll be really rare. But, if you notice something funky on the assignment drop boxes with the due dates and times, let me know and I'll fix them. Okay. So, a bit what we're doing this week. We're on to argument and persuasion, which is basically like the most essential part of the course. Okay. Because really, whenever we communicate, implicitly we're trying to argue or we're trying to convince someone that we're worth listening to. Okay. So whether we're telling a story, writing a descriptive piece, whatever we're doing, built into that, implicitly is a pitch. Hey, listen to me. I've got something worth saying. So explicitly now with an argument, you are going to pick a topic, preferably some sociocultural topic, some topical issue, okay, going on in American or global culture today. I prefer that you stay away from the things we've all kind of talked about a million times: abortion, legalize marijuana, lower the drinking age, gay marriage, things like that. Those are kind of, they might have been fresh in like the 1990s or the 2000s, but things now, government overreach, some of the LGBTQ IA plus issues, that's pretty fresh and relevant. Gender identity, those are pretty fresh, relevant topics, okay, argumentative topics. Topical things going on from, I'd say, 2016 on are probably good. We don't really talk about the border wall anymore, but, immigration to a degree, of course, that's kind of outworn and beating a tired horse too. I'd like you to try to think of something unique and like original, like uh, more. We need more college graduates in the nursing field, okay? Or um, more young people should look into going into trades versus, trades like hands-on physical jobs, um, welding, plumbing, construction, even in the medical field, that is considered a trade as well. Nursing versus some cushy professorship at a fancy liberal arts college. Okay, um, things like that. So try to think of like a topic you feel passionately about and that you'd want to argue for or against. Okay, so our argumentative essay is going to be due in 2 weeks. All right, so this week you should start thinking of a topic. Okay, and you could run the topics by me. You could email me, hey, do you think this is a good topic? And I'll consult with you over it, and we'll hash it out and get you where you need to be. This week we're reading two things in the reader, two classics of uh, British literature. I hesitated because one is an Irish author, um, and I don't know that he was from Northern Ireland, Jonathan Swift. In any case, details there. Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal, classic uh, satirical, ironic essay on what to do about the poverty situation in Ireland in the 18th century. Now, he gives one prescription, which is, well, I know, we're all starving. Everyone's having a ton of kids. Let's eat the babies. Okay. Now, it's a joke. Okay. He doesn't really advocate for eating infants. Okay. But the way the satire works, he says that in a way to kind of get your attention. And then later in A Modest Proposal, he gives you his actual prescriptions, what he actually thinks that society should be doing to fix its wrongs. Okay, so it is kind of a an offensive, shocking, sensational piece of writing on purpose. It was, you know, 250, 300 years ago. It still is today. That's why we still read it and talk about it. But I want to underscore the fact that um, the Swift's fictional character, the narrator of the essay, A Modest Proposal, isn't legitimately arguing that we should literally be eating children to solve the poverty and hunger crisis in Ireland in the 18th century. Okay. He dresses it up that way, but he's doing some other things in the essay too. So, see, this is a discussion forum. Okay. See if you could identify what his actual prescription is, what his actual advice is. This is how we fix the problem. So that's one thing. Then there's another piece by a writer named William Hazlitt, who has been called the greatest English essayist in history. 19th century writer, and his is called On the Pleasure of Hating. Okay, how timely, right? We're 200 plus years removed, okay, from his time, but look at Twitter. You're going to tell me we don't get a little rush on dunking on people, on hating people? Okay, we shouldn't. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Hate corrodes your soul and corrupts you and makes you a miserable person. But see what he's actually saying in his piece. What he kind of analyzes the phenomenon of hate. What do human beings get out of this emotion, hate? Okay, what does it do for us? Why do we do it? We do things because these things that we do reward us in some way. Okay, so what is his argument in that piece? Okay, so you just look at the discussion forum, and it's those two pieces in the reader. Okay, in the argumentative persuasive chapter, A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift, and On the Pleasure of Hating by William Hazlitt. So that is due on Friday. Okay, that's the discussion forum. Discussion forums, blogs, journals are always going to be due on the Friday. So no late work accepted. You have to contribute a post, and for full credit, follow the length guidelines. You also have to respond to at least one other student's post. Okay, if you don't and you just do your own post, it'll be like an 85. That's the top score you'll be able to get. Okay, so there's that, and then some exercises in SCC where you have to make a thesis statement based on some topics, provide supporting details and counterclaims to a variety of topics as well. And if you have any questions on the instructions in the SCC unit, which I believe is 3.8, okay, just let me know. All right, just email me and ask away, and I'll help you. So that's what we got this week. Need to be thinking about your argumentative topic for your next essay. Okay, I'm going to try to avoid the topics that were fashionable 15, 20, 30 years ago. Try to think of something original, or at least some. If you're really passionate about issues about abortion, okay, let me know and I'll approve you. If you're really passionate about marijuana legalization, maybe for medical purposes, or if you make some fresh original case for recreational purposes, okay, I don't want to discourage you. It's just I've read so many of these things, because kids of a certain age tend to focus around certain topics, right? It's natural, all right. But just try to let me know, okay, so I could sign off on it. So you're thinking about that. You're doing your forum, your discussion forum, due by Friday. Jonathan Swift's Modest Proposal, question on that, question on William Hazlitt's On the Pleasure of Hating. Those two readings are in your 1101 reader. And then your SCC exercises on argument and persuasion, which again I believe is 3.8. Okay. All right. So be grading your other assignments, and next week your descriptive essays. By now all your narratives should be back. On the whole, we did pretty well. Maybe some formatting hiccups here and there, but that can typically happen with the first essay. Okay, but on the whole, they were pretty solid. Just one thing I will say for narratives, especially, it's always good to describe in detail, like paint a scene. It's one thing if I tell you my summer was great. It was the most awesome summer ever. The end. Well, how was my summer great? I need to like show you, the reader. I played a lot of tennis. I really improved my game. I remember this one time when I went to hit my serve and I ratcheted up my right hand and I whipped my wrist like a whip. Okay, giving you those details, right? I'm watching tennis right now, as a matter of fact. So details are what make, especially a narrative essay, visual details, okay? Because humans are visual creatures, right? And that's going to help you, or probably did help you in your descriptive essays as well. Details that appeal to the five senses: sight, touch, taste, sound, smell, etc. Okay? So specific concrete details will always be your friend in writing, okay? Being short, clean, succinct, to the point. Don't try to wow your teacher with flowery prose, okay? Just be direct, say what you mean, use specific concrete details, and chef's kiss, perfect, more or less, okay? All right, everybody, good to check in with you. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll check in with you with another video in a couple weeks. Peace, and let me know if you need anything.